Hello guys, this is Kabase. It's the start of spring, but this update can be considered a rest when it comes to the gameplay because Boon God appeared last update and all that. But it's also an exciting time for story content coming this update. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Starting from April 3rd, we'll have a new side story event focusing on our Italian nun Maria that is a warm embrace for the Lamb of God. Look forward to that. But what most of you are probably gonna be looking forward to the most is, of course, the main story update, which is Chapter 5, Part 2, Act 2. Once more, this is the second to the last main story update in JP, so Chapter 5, Part 3 is the only main story chapter left before we catch up. I hope you all enjoy, well, Karen's arc to the end, as well as another character's mini arc in between. If you know, you know. Now for the freebies, we'll have two login bonus. One is for 10 days that will give us 10 tickets for one SS guaranteed 10 pool, and the second one contradicts both the name and the localization adjustment version of it. So as of uploading, they haven't corrected their mistake, presumably, so I'll say that it's most likely a mistake, and while the 3 days of login is correct, the rewards are different, with the third day being an SS selector, which was said in the localization adjustment, but again, I could be wrong. Ultimately, it's Intern Kun's fault for misunderstanding and all that. Anyways, the next two are mission-based campaigns. First is the Ice Element Upgrade Support. Complete the missions, get a variety of upgrade materials, whilst Master Skill Training Support is the same, but the rewards are bells and Laplace Hexaprisms, which is used for unlocking the master skills, of course. And lastly is the spring login recruitment, which is most likely gonna be one free pool per day. So yeah, hope you all get lucky on that if it is. Now for the gameplay side of things, first we'll have a new game mode that is Seraph Encounter Drill number 1. I already explained it in the previous video about localization adjustment, but to do a summary of it, it's called SSS in JP for short. It's basically a semi-roguelike mode. Each run gives you randomly drawn tactical cards that can completely change how your run plays out. Think of it as a multi-way version of Score Attack. You get to choose from 3 difficulty levels and preferably must have a team to deal with these multiple waves of enemies, so I wish you good luck in trying out this new game mode. Next is the typical Score Attack, challenge number 38, Thread of Torment. As usual, here on screen are the multiplier conditions for the next 2 weeks. My tip from this boss is preferably you want to disable its attack when it's about to use its move that restricts your lowest DP Memoria's movement for a couple of turns, as well as have your DPS avoid getting hit by another move that lowers your strength stats. And the easier week to do it, in my opinion, is week 1, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And lastly, we'll finally get the third batch of Master Skills this update. Once again, here on screen are the effects of each Master Skills. The standout for this batch is Mia's Master Skill, especially if you use her often. Now we get to the banners, and it's 2 banners with 4 new SS Memorias, and with this update, there's only one pre-2025 JP banner left, not released in EN. And as soon as next month, we might actually catch up to every banner release before Boon God, who is the latest Memoria when it comes to JP schedule in EN. And yeah. Anyways, let's start with the banner that came in the event. First up is Where the Breeze Song Leads, Irene, who is a healer but more like an SP battery and a buffer than, well, a healer. Her 10 SP EX skill, which unlike any other 31x EX skills, is not usable at 0 SP and less than 10 SP and only usable 4 times, brings a solid DP recovery, but the most important part of this skill is its SP override effect, which basically if you have any Memoria at 10 SP or below including negative SP, this skill basically overrides your SP count to 10. So if you use majority 31x skills or skills that put you at negative SP, this skill can be your reset button for those situations. And her non-EX or common skill at 14 SP, which this one can be used at 0 SP and above, gives a party 5-turn attack up that doesn't stack twice. This skill could be useful especially on other Irene Memorias if you're lacking this buff specifically. But you could also change this skill by using its Memorious EX skill first, then this skill after. Now, her LB0 passive basically increases her healing by a bit if your SP is less or equal to 0. And when it comes to her LB1 passive, instead of the usual +1 SP when in the front, instead, when in front, she gives +1 SP to your entire reserve or backline, which for some could be a better LB1 passive. And her LB3 passive gives +5 SP at battle start when she's in the front. This Irene is effectively a niche Memoria that you only use when you're running SP draining Memorias like Throne X Memorias, challenging content that loves draining your SP, or running a team with a certain Memoria that I can't speak of for now. And other than her common skill being potentially useful when using other Irene Memorias, this Memoria's feature specifically is equivalent to like Kaito Irene or something, which for Kaito Irene and this Memoria, their future is so and so. Now the other one, Valconzo Elegante Maria, who is a fire attacker that, on its DP being maxed at 150%, can bring out the most out of her DPS capabilities. Her 14 SP EX skill is like Irene, not usable at 0 SP and less than 14 SP, is a 4-hit fire single target attack with a plus 50% HP modifier and DPS thresholds, basically increases your damage further at 60 and then 150% DP. For comparison, this effectively is similar to Fubuki SS2's skill, but its DP threshold is reversed where Maria needs her DP at its highest it can be to bring her maximum potential. Then her non-EX skill at 8 SP and usable at 0 SP or above is the complement, basically healing herself up to 150% max DP. Now her LB0 passive, similar to Irene's, increases her healing effects a bit, but Maria's only condition to get this effect is if she's front at player turn. And her LB3 passive makes it that if she's at 150% DP at turn start, regardless if she's in the front or back, gives your entire party +1 SP every turn. Honestly, considering how excellent her competition is as a fire DPS, and especially if you already have, let's say, Unison Ruka, which doesn't need any gimmicks at all, I do not recommend getting her, so her future is not safe. Now, the next banner, honestly, I was surprised considering it's not even June yet, but nonetheless, here's our first wedding banner of the year, with the first one being married to Ruka. And that is Innocent Nevesta Sharo, who is a dark buffer with a special quirk to her. Her 10 SP EX skill usable at 0 SP or above, and also strictly one use only, gives herself +1 ally, +5 SP each, and the unique buff Eternal Vow, which is permanent until battle end. This buff gives +100% crit rate, +100% skill attack up, and +25% defense. And since it's a unique buff to the enhanced pile, it doesn't interfere with any other buff that provides these effects. Preferably, you need to use her Eternal Vow buff to your DPS. Now, her non-EX skill at 9 SP and can be used at 0 SP or above gives a 3-turn ally skill attack up plus dark skill attack up that doesn't stack twice, both of them. So it's pretty good. Now, her LB0 passive, when she's in front and has the Eternal Vow buff, gives +1 SP to herself and the ally that also has the Eternal Vow buff every turn. And her LB3 passive adds +15% DP regen every turn if herself and your chosen ally or Memoria has the Eternal Vow buff. Overall, she's a pure support Memoria, whether it's SP gain or the buff she provides. Of course, vow your best DPS to her. But again, having one use EX skill means you better use it right or you waste the whole kit. She's very much a so-and-so for the future, but probably the best one out of these four. And lastly, arguably the best Memoria in terms of design and well, how hot she is Veiled Sanctuary Seira, who is a fire defender attacker hybrid. Her 14 SP EX skill, which can be halved to 7 SP if the enemy is provoked by her AoE cover, is a 6-hit fire single target attack that increases her damage the more her DP drops. This is a similar equivalent to Fubuki SS2 skill, but not exactly because it doesn't scale on stats and doesn't have a HP nor DP modifier. But it does have a massive self-heal, so you can use her safely when using this skill. Now, her common skill at 6 SP and only usable 4 times gives her AoE cover and 1 new self break guard. If you have SS Irie, you know how this skill works. It basically prevents your Memoria from breaking when DP is above 50%. Her LB0 passive is the same as Maria's earlier, increases your healing effects by a bit if she's in front at player turn, and her LB3 passive gives a self attack up if her DP is less than 50%. Overall, while you can use her as a defender, being a DPS is basically her other self. And like Maria, the fire DPS competition is pretty cutthroat, and as a DPS, she's a level lower than even Maria, so her future is not safe. From an elemental perspective, Sharo is a good buffer for Dark Team. Maria and Seidra are solid fire DPS with their unique gimmicks, but if you have better fire DPS options, you don't necessarily need them. And from a general / common perspective, Irene has a niche in SP draining teams but pretty in everything else. If you have wasted your quartz after Boon God, this is a good 2 weeks to save. Since both banners I don't recommend pulling, especially as a free to play. Though as always, if you love the characters, their artwork, or want their specific abilities, feel free to ignore my advice and pull for them. The last banners I have to mention are the paid quartz exclusive Springs Step Up Recruitment and paid quartz exclusive Elemental Enhancement Field Step Up Recruitment, which are both skips or rail bait as they call it. And yeah, that's the end of the video, I guess. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell so won't miss any of my videos. Share with a friend watching Series X tier. So yeah, see you next time. Bye!